Welcome back to the programme. As promised, let's get more on the death of Aretha Franklin. Let's go live now to New York, where we're joined by the entertainment journalist Nelson Aspen. Nelson, thank you for being here on the programme. We've been trying to ask different guests through the course of the last couple of hours how they can put into words the legacy that is Aretha Franklin. How would you attempt to do that?
I would say not only larger than life, but constantly relevant. You know, you think, oh, she passed away at 76, oh, she had a good life. Au contraire, she really passed away too soon because she was always changing with the times. You think about the fact that she started out in gospel, was singing professionally at the age of 14, learning in her father's church. She became a mother at a very young age. That sidetracked her, and when she came back, it was into the world of rhythm and blues, and so on through the 60s, 70s, 80s. We remember her singing with George Michael and Annie Lennox, and right up until as late as last year, she was still performing, influencing new generations of artists. And that's why today you're seeing the outpouring of love from everybody like politicians, like the Obamas and the Clintons, to artists like Barbra Streisand, Hugh Jackman, and even the younger people like Ariana Grande. Everybody owes, pardon the pun, respect to Aretha Franklin.
And that, of course, that record, 1967. I mean, it came a little while after her first record. That was back in 1954. But that was the massive breakthrough moment, wasn't it?
Respect, it has a life of its own, and she appreciated, as we all do, the significance of it. It was sort of a civil rights anthem, but it's become an anthem for anybody. It's female empowerment. It's minority empowerment. It's the kind of thing you could put on if you were working out on a treadmill or just having an evening at home with a good book. It makes you lifted up, and she knew that a lot of that was not just the lyrics and the melody. It was the way she sang it. It was a power that was uniquely her own.
And it's interesting, we've seen so many of her concerts. We hear so much of modern-day divas. She was anything but. It was her music, it was pretty straightforward, pretty simple, not much fuss elsewhere.
With talent like that, you didn't need anything to make it more complicated. She didn't need pyrotechnics or backup dancers behind her. She was simply the queen of soul. I will take a little bit of issue with the diva thing. Yes, she was a wonderful woman who considered her primary role on this planet as that of a mother and that of a humanitarian and a civil rights leader. But when it came to performing, she enjoyed being the diva. She may not have been that offstage, but she loved strutting her stuff. She loved wearing fur, even when animal rights activists weren't having any of it. She loved showing off and raising her arms. That total comfort and abandonment that she showed on stage was her being a diva when she was on stage.
I've only got time for one more question, but it's interesting. You must listen to artists all the time. What was it about that voice? I mean, it had the most extraordinary range, didn't it?
I believe they said she had 4-octave range, but even, you know, your voice changes as it gets older, but she never lost the power. I don't know if that was from her diaphragm. I don't know the biology of a singer, but from wherever it was inside her, I have a feeling more than a physical attribute, it was soul.
Well, Nelson Aspen, we're nearly out of time. I'm just going to give you one or two sentences more because, I mean, what impact has this had? We've heard plenty from musicians, but in terms of ordinary people, a couple of sentences.
Everybody's been touched by it. We have heard her sing the great anthems, whether it's at a football game or an inauguration. So we have all been touched by her power. Even very young people who might not be able to identify her by name will always be able to identify her by song. And what a legacy. No one could ask for more.
Nelson, we're out of time, but thank you for those thoughts.